Hello everyone, it is great to see you here once again on Dee's Delights. Today we are going to be making easy baked apples. These really sound good. I made some different baked apples, but these looked extra good to me. So what you're going to need for this recipe is 3 medium-sized apples. I have like a small and a couple of mediums, so just use what you got. But it says here to use maybe sweet firm apples like Honeycrisp or Fuji. I have Gala today, so that's what I'm going to be using. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That's what we're going to need for just the apple part of the recipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel my apples, core them, and cut them in half. Now if you want to, you can leave the skins on. Just be sure to wash them before you use them. So I'm going to go ahead and peel mine. So I'll peel that little bit off the bottom that my little apple peeler didn't get. And then I will use my apple core. I'll start at the bottom. And go up through. Right there. Perfect. Get rid of that core. A gentleman gives Doug apples every year. He gives him a big old bag of Gala apples. They're from a local orchard. Doug does service work for him, and he's kind enough to give him these apples, so I like to use them up. All right, so I got 3 apples, cored, skinned. There again, keep the skins if you want to keep the skins. And now I'm going to cut them in half. Lightly grease an 8x8 pan or whatever size you have that'll fit 6 little halves. So I'll put them in there, about 3 in a row. They fit quite nicely. Actually, I could fit a few more in there. All right, so next, let's go ahead and get the topping ready. And in the meantime, while you're getting the topping ready, go ahead and heat your oven to 375 degrees. So for the topping, you will need to melt 1 stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons. You'll need 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to put it in a bowl. You'll need 3/4 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, not the quick kind, but the old-fashioned kind. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. I use Domino's and I use dark brown sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And keep the cinnamon out because we're going to sprinkle a little on top of the apples before we put the topping on. And 1/8 teaspoon of kosher salt. So mix that around. Tell you what, I'm just going to do it with my hand. I think I can get it mixed better. And I'm going to get out all the little lumps of the brown sugar. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a little brown sugar sprinkled on top of the apples. It says to use a tablespoon. Use whatever you want. Tablespoon hardly seems enough. I'm going to spread it out a little bit. And let's just sprinkle a little cinnamon. Then add your stick of butter to the oats and brown sugar mixture. Actually, this would be like a little apple crisp, just in little single serving sizes. So if you had more people, you could double the recipe, have it for a dessert, have it for breakfast, or just any time of day. Okay, so next what we're going to do is scoop a little out on each apple and then press it firmly down in. I have enough for 2 more, for 1 apple cut in half. I'm going to put 1 more in there because mine were baby apples. So I'm going to scoot these aside, put a little of this topping that dropped off. Make room for 2 more little baby apples. I was only able to do that because mine were little teeny apples. You probably won't be able to do that if you have medium-sized apples or big apples. See how quick that is to prep that up? Didn't take any time at all. The apples are ready to go into the oven. We're going to cover it with aluminum foil and we're going to bake it for 25 minutes. Then take off the aluminum foil, put it back in the oven for another 20 to 30 minutes. So just kind of check your apples to see how soft they are. So I'll see you shortly. I cooked mine for a total of 50 minutes, 25 covered, 25 uncovered. So now I'm going to try one. Go ahead and cut it in half. Your apple, you want your apple to be soft. Looking good, looking good. Yes, that is very good. Easy, simple way to make delicious apples. Single serving sizes. It says these will stay good for up to about a week. Just reheat them so they're nice and warm. I think I might run a couple out to my parents. Okay, Mr. Douglas Miller, this is the taste test. Might not be hot enough, so. Now you have to get a bunch of that good crispy stuff on top.
What if you just make the crispy stuff without the apple?
You could make that too, because that was delicious.
It's hot.
Can you taste it because it's so hot? You have to be careful.
Yeah, it tastes good.
It's just like little baby apple crisps.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Cinnamon, sugar.
Brown sugar.
Yeah, apples.
Yep. Little butter. There was flour in there. The apples got soft, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. I think if you heat it up in a bowl and put just a little milk with it.
Little milk. Some people would like ice cream on top.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. Or you can also, some people like caramel sauce, like syrup on top. All kinds of good things you can do with it.
It's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Stay tuned for a quick and easy recipe on baked apple slices. So what you're going to need for this recipe is 4 apples of your choice. So I will be using the Gala. Normally if I was going to bake apples, I would use Macintosh because they get nice and soft, but it is totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and peel them, then take the center out with my little apple corer. So next what I'm going to do is slice them. So I'm going to sprinkle some brown sugar on top. Because we're going to stir this all together then. I'm going to sprinkle a little cinnamon. Then I'm going to sprinkle about 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Just kind of go so I have a little bit more control. Just drizzle a little over each of the apples. Now you put as little or as much as you want, but I don't think you're going to want any less than 3 tablespoons. Then what you're going to want to do is bake this at 350 for anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the type of apple you're using and how soft you want your apples to be. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stir them around in there. Get all of that brown sugar on top, that butter mixed around. Make sure they're spread out. Next we'll put them in the oven until they're nice and tender. I ended up letting the apples bake for about 45 minutes and I'm letting them cool a little bit.
Baked apples.
Baked apples. Imagine baked apples. I'm going to have you try one. See, now I know you prefer Macintosh, but try it. Some of them are softer than others. It's hot.
Gotta roll around and get all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. They have a good flavor to them, don't they?
Yeah, they taste good.
Mm-hmm. As we eat out of the pan, like animals.
It's like pigs in a trough.
Yeah, pigs in a trough. Like I told you before, these are good. I'm not going to eat a lot there again. I've told you before about my girlish figure. I don't want to lose that. Even though I'm tempted to have another piece, it is 8:07 at night.
I don't think one little slice of apple is going to change
You sure?
your girlish figure.
You don't think? I'll eat this one here. They are good. Doug, 1 to 10 on the D's to 8. Doug always does the 8. 8. Well, heck, I'm going to give it an 8.3.
Great topping for ice cream,
Excellent.
especially if you chopped them up real small.
In little teeny baby bits. We'll just make applesauce. How about that? We'll just throw applesauce in a bowl and Doug can throw some ice cream on top. But no, these are good.
Go ahead, make fun of my suggestions. That's all right.
So thanks for joining us here once again on Dee's Delights, and I hope you have a fabulous day.